welcome to the Moll Anderson Show on XM Channel 168. I'm Moll Anderson, and it's now time to go deep into the psyche of men with relationship expert and author of The Guy's Guide to Love, Robert Manni. Hi, Robert.
Hello there, Moll. How are you? Thanks so much for having me on your show. I'm a fan. I love your positive message, and I hope to be able to add a little sparkle to it.
Well, thank you, and we love guys here at the Moll Anderson Show.
Well, that's always a good thing.
Yes. I love the title of this book, and it's not easy to say. Say it fast. It's not easy. The Guy's Guide.
That's exactly. See, the trick is, and it's already worked, is to get people to say it more than once.
Well, I have to tell you, I've said it several times today already.
Well, what the thing about the book is, it's actually a novel. I was inspired to write. My inspiration was to see if I could come up with a way through the power of story to kind of bridge that chasm that we see between men and women. They seem to be drifting further and further apart. So, as they say, write what you know about. So I put my perspective into a story using two guys competing for love, sex, power, and money in the world of advertising, which is about.
Well, that's a new story, right?
Yeah. And then one of the main character, a guy by the name of Max Halliday, he is asked by his former girlfriend to write a column about men for women.
Oh,
and of
like
course,
that.
he doesn't want to do that because he believes that women don't necessarily want to know the real truth about men. And finally, she convinces him to do it, and the name of the column is
The Guy's Guide to Love.
There you go. And people seem to really be enjoying the story. I started blogging about the topic because everybody seems to think, like initially, like, oh, it's a guidebook. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily a guidebook. It is a novel, but I've taken kind of the bull by the horns and made my blog about all things that have to do with life, love, the pursuit of happiness, again with the same goal of really trying to bridge that communications gap between men and women, and do something really positive here. So
I
it
love
seems
that.
Yeah. Well, we're catching on, and the whole idea is with the Guy's Guide is the Guy's Guides are kind of an updated version of the traditional man's man, but a lot more casual. And kind of having unassuming strength, seductive integrity, emotional intelligence. But the most important aspect of being a guy's guy is really being somebody that celebrates the long overdue recognition and ascent of women. Because that's something that in the past, it's not that women are just achieving things now. Mm-hmm. I think they're being recognized now. And I think if you're a smart guy in today's world, if you're a guy's guy, you see that as a really good thing and a win-win for everybody.
I agree. We're trying to bridge that gap here, too, so it's perfect to have you here.
Awesome.
I love it.
There's a lot of the kind of negative stuff coming from guys these days. You've got I really want to help men also. I want to help women understand where guys are coming from and see that, it's not all bad news. There's hope for men. But on the other hand, I really want men to kind of man up because young guys today don't really have great role models. It's either, the action hero or the geek or whatever. They're caught in this Netherlands between the MMA and manscaping, and it's really tough for them to really get a hold as to what they want to be. I mean, this is a time where men have never been more free to be whoever they want to be, but it's also a time where it's never been more unclear as to who they actually are. So I'm trying to help the young guys kind of get a grip on things and see the positive side of the ledger and not get into that whole misogyny thing. And for middle-aged guys, I really want to put the message out there for them because, nowadays women are kind of saying, hey, do I really need guys for this, that, or the other thing? And if the middle-aged guys kind of don't get their act together, they're going to be like the brontosauruses running across the plains 5,000 years ago. And it doesn't have to be that way. So hopefully folks like yourself and myself, if we can put the message out there, a positive message, then people will start to be more understanding of each other.
Well, no, I think that's great. And I totally agree. And in the same respect, I'm trying to get women to take responsibility for some of their choices when they're choosing men to date as well. Because it's like I was watching a show the other night. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but I was so shocked. It was a reality show, and there was this young girl screaming at her boyfriend in this particular show. It's a reality show for the Sir restaurant. It's one of the Real Housewives.
I saw it.
Yes, did you see it?
I saw it. I think like last night. And
oh my gosh!
Yes. They were so mean to each other.
Well, I'm watching this. Was her name Stressy or Stressa or something?
Yes.
And Jax, right? And I'm watching this, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I wanted to take her and sit her down and say, okay, quit saying to him, I told you exactly what I wanted you to do and how to act and what I needed in a man, and you keep disappointing me. And I'm like, okay, did she just hear what she said?
Yeah, and you know what? If he did exactly what she said, she would lose respect for him anyhow, and it wouldn't work out.
Exactly.
I think that's a tip of a very important point between men and women, where a lot of times women, they have the list, and if a guy lives up to everything on the list and does exactly what they say, they lose that kind of mystery, and there is a bit of emasculation about that. But I put that on guys, that they can't allow that to happen. But when they try to please women so hard, that I don't think women really. I'll ask you. I don't think they really go for that. I think they want a little bit of independence. I think women today really want men to be men.
I listen, my man is all man. I mean, I love that about him. And I think I finally, met my match late in life. I was 45 when I met him, and we've been married 7 years next month. And it's so exciting to me because it did take me a little longer to figure it out, though. And the truth of the matter is I needed to find someone that I absolutely adored and respected. And that's what I have. And it's so great to have that feeling. But before, I think I would choose people I could either control or, I thought, I could mold into this guy that I wanted. I grew up with that same belief that these young women do, that, if he loves me, he'll change. And instead of just understanding that this particular person is actually showing you who he is,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I'm in a similar situation. I've been married about 3 years, and I got married later in life. And I'm so blessed because my wife believes in me, and she's totally supportive of what I'm doing and the message. And it took a long time. I mean, I was at the point where I would show up for family gatherings at the holidays, and people didn't even ask me if I was getting married. I was like, they were past that already. And 1 year, 4 years ago, I mentioned to my mom, I said, oh, by the way, I'm going to get married next year. And she said, what? Do you have anybody in mind? And I'm like, no, but I just have a feeling it's going to happen. And it did. I got engaged about a year and a half later, and then I married a year after that. And it's been all good.
Well, you were visualizing it.
You know what? You're right. And I was open to it happening.
Yes.
I wasn't closed off. And I think a lot of men and a lot of women fall into the same camp where a lot of guys will just like, that's the way I am. Mm-hmm. And they refuse to change. I mean, 5 years ago, I stopped eating meat. And I feel tremendous. I have so much more energy. And I know a lot of guys who would never go there. They think that's totally weird. I need a steak and all of that. And they say, why? And I say, well, food's not the same as it was when we were growing up. So I had to adapt. You have to be open to new ideas.
Well, and I think everybody's different. If that works for you, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, exactly. And the point is just being open-minded. And a lot of women also, they have the list. And they just stick with that list. And, the longer that list grows, the fewer guys they're going to have to choose from. And you got to be a little bit flexible.
But don't you think it's like the other thing, though, is women also get into this settling. Well, this is the best I can do. This is like, I can't do any better. There aren't any guys out there. I mean, honestly, I don't know why anybody would want to get married to someone if they're settling. Number one, that is not a good thing to do. Number two, why wouldn't you wait for someone that is your of like mind, so to speak?
I completely agree. I mean, if you're getting married to just be married, you're probably doing it for other people. You're really not doing it for yourself, or you're doing it for your self-esteem. And I think the key to any relationship is you have to really come to terms with yourself, whether you're a male or a female. You have to be comfortable with who you are. You have to know what you want, and then you have to know what you really have to offer and be realistic. And then, as I always say, for men, there's 2 words, and I learned this on the 3rd date with my wife. And if I could climb up on a mountaintop and I could preach a message to men all around the world in 2 words, because I said, I really want to be a good boyfriend. What do I have to do? And she said, pay attention.
Ah, there you go.
And I said, is that it? She said, yes, that's it.
I love it.
You know what? Wow. Every time, and I'm still working on it, believe me.
That's okay.
It's so tough because women pay attention. Sometimes they pay attention. It seems like it's too much, but they care a lot about the relationships. And guys pay attention to themselves. We're very ego-driven. We're very sexually driven. And we're competitive, and women are a blessing for men. Thank God for women. But a lot of times guys don't realize that because they're so focused on themselves. And if they would see that women really want the relationship, anytime they're bugging them, it's usually about making the relationship better for both people. And if guys could wrap their heads around that and pay attention to the little stuff, if you do little things for women, holding the door open, not checking your iPhone when you're on your first date.
Exactly. And I tell women, if he doesn't open the door, why are you getting in the car?
Exactly.
But I love the way you think, Robert Manni, and I'm so excited to tell everybody about your book, The Guy's Guide to Love. And can we pick that up just about anywhere?
The best place to pick it up right now is online.
Okay.
It's the physical book or the ebook, and you can catch it on Amazon. It's on sale right now on Amazon or any of the e-tailers, but you can get either physical or regular book. And my blog's at robertmanni.com. And I just think I really am pleased to be on your show. And I think the most important thing for men and women is to just be sensitive with each other, prolong the fun, have a really good time, and I think it's all good for everybody if we keep an open mind.
Well, wise words from Robert Manni. Robert, come back and see us, okay?
I would love to. Thanks, Moll.
Thanks so much.